Come on in, pull up a chair and take a load off because today I'll be reviewing and paging through MÖRK BORG, which is from Free League Publishing. So is this dark, rules-light role-playing game perfect for metalheads out there? Or does the heavy metal vibe act more like a leaden weight and drag this RPG down? You're going to find out right after this. Howdy, 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 gang. Yes, I'm Jeff McAleer, back once again as your host here at the Gaming Gang channel. As I mentioned in the open, I'm going to be reviewing and paging through MÖRK BORG from Free League Publishing in just a moment. First off, I do want to remind you, though, if you like this video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already, and if you do subscribe, don't forget, ring that notification bell, because not only will it let you know when I upload videos such as this, it'll also tell you when my live stream, The Daily Dope, airs Monday through Thursday nights right here on YouTube as I bring you the latest in tabletop gaming news. Of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in news, reviews, and a whole lot more. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Right, as I mentioned in the open, we are taking a look at MÖRK BORG. I think that's close to the pronunciation. I am not positive. I'm giving it my old college try. It is from Ockult Oktmastare Games, Stockholm Kartell, as well as Free League Publishing. It's written by Pelle Nielsen with graphic design and art from Johan Noir and Dead People. Yes, I swear it does say and Dead People. The 96-page book is available in hardcover for $33.10, or you can grab it in PDF at DriveThruRPG for $14.99. Do want to mention, I was provided a review copy from Free League Publishing. Outside of that, neither I nor anyone else has received any sort of compensation to provide my thoughts on MÖRK BORG. So let's swing on over to the other camera because here we got it. So the first thing, when this arrived from Free League Publishing, I was surprised that this is a digest-sized book. I thought this was going to be a larger book. So I was like, oh, wow. And I didn't realize it was as short as it is, 96 pages. So I was kind of surprised. It is a very fast read. I will give you that. So this is a very, very dark, heavy metal inspired fantasy role-playing game. It is not recommended for gamers under the age of 16. It's important to keep in mind. I'm going to page through. I am going to point out that we are going to see some artwork that you might find disturbing. So I am going to just point that out right off the bat, keeping in mind it's just art. This was successfully kickstarted, and it was presented as an art book, which is also a role-playing game. And that's how I approached this. Because as we crack this open, this is going to look completely unlike most other role-playing games that you've seen before. Now, I know this has been out for quite a while. It did win Product of the Year as far as the Any Awards for 2020. So it is an award-winning role-playing game. I was just given this from Free League Publishing with some of the newer releases, and I was like, wow, excellent, fantastic. I'd love to take a look at this. All right, so we're going to take a peek through. I'm going to kind of page through rather quickly. So we've got some random tables to start off with, and we will also finish up the book. So it's almost as if this is kind of what you would find on the Game Master screen. If there was a Game Master, I think there is a Game Master screen, but this kind of gives you an idea. The back page really gives you everything you need to know right there at your fingertips. All right, so let's zip on in. So a lot of people out there dislike the look of this book. I will point out I am an old school role play kind of guy. So yes, some of this came across as very oddly structured because we'll have some artwork, we'll have some various different information about what it's sharing. So essentially, this is a fantasy world that is dying. The prophecies of doom are beginning to come true. The player characters are not necessarily good folk. They might be kind of screwed up. They might actually be more evil than good. Just very different. This is very, very different. I don't want to spoil a lot of things with this because it is worth a read through. So the production quality itself is top notch. It is really nicely put together by Free League Publishing. We have, for an example here, I'll kind of tilt that a little bit. You can see we've got the metallics here that are kind of popping off the page. We'll see that a few times. We've got the nice little bookmark, which of course, game books from Europe always tend to have, really nice little bookmarks in them. So essentially, this is a D20 system. There are only 4 attributes as well. And it's essentially, you're going to add your bonus from your attribute to a D20, and you're looking at beating a difficulty number, a DR, essentially. So we've got here, these are our weapons. And when you roll up a character, it's super fast. I mean, you're basically going to roll a D10 to see what your weapon is. And then we have just basically our, what is the damage and what is it? You're not going to see a ton of like background information on, say, for an example, a crossbow. Do you really need a ton of info? So we've got armor, we've got some random equipment. So we talk about the abilities. We've got agility, presence, strength, and toughness. And here we've got our modifiers. So very similar to a lot of other very rules light OSR games that are out there. This does have a very solid OSR, old school renaissance, as I like to say. Some people refer to it as old school revival, but this does have a very solid OSR vibe to it to go with its heavy metal style. So as you notice, we're just paging through, and this is just giving us all of our rules, which this has got to be one of the most rules-light games I've encountered in a book of this length. So we get a Game Master section here as well. So the players have powers that they can utilize. They're not like superpowers or anything like that. They're just special things that the players can actually do. As far as magic, there are scrolls that can be found. There are blessed scrolls. There are cursed. So then we get our character classes here. We've got the Fanged Deserter, the Gutter-born Scum, the Esoteric Hermit, Wretched Royalty, Heretical Priest, Occult Herb Master. And then we get a little bit of a bestiary here with some of the creatures. Once again, just real quick blurbs. Bang, right there, right in front of you. What do you need to know? Here you go. So we go through that. We also have an adventure. There's a short adventure at the end as well. So we've got some different outcast followers as well. Because once again, as I mentioned, this has an OSR vibe to it. And OSR fantasy games, you usually have hirelings or followers to help out. So once again, more metallics here. I apologize for those out there who might not appreciate that image. So then we've got our short adventure, which is essentially the player characters are trying to rescue the king's son. And just very boom, to the point. And this is the kind of OSR role-playing adventures I like, where it's just, okay, here's the room, here's what's in it, here's what's important for you to know. Do you need to know the backstory about how the long departed cook used to read romance novels in the corner while, the dinner was cooking? No, absolutely not. I don't need that info. I need to know, what do the players see? What do the characters see? What can they hear? What do they smell? And what is going on in that room? One thing I will point out, though, you will notice once we got to the adventure, we start kind of going to a traditional 2-column look for the adventure. I thought that was kind of interesting, that it's kind of like wild and off the wall presentation up to that point. But once we get to the actual adventure itself, kind of go a little more standardized. The adventure is actually pretty cool. I did think this is a pretty cool adventure. Probably finish it up in one session, depending. If you play short sessions, then maybe 2. But all in all, probably run through that in about 4-5 hours. So once again, we get some more random charts, random tables in the back as well. And then I already pointed out that pretty much all you need to know is located right here, whatever you need. And we got a nice index too. I love when we get an index for books, much appreciated. And that is everything from MÖRK BORG. Let's swing on over to the other camera. I will share my final thoughts as well as my review score. So I do have to mention that I am really not the intended audience for MÖRK BORG. I'm just not. That said, yes, I mean, I know some people went crazy about, wow, they just were blown away by the presentation, just the style, the graphic design, I should say. The actual production quality of this, like I said, is top notch. But that's why it was, awarded. It won, 2, 3 Ennies? I know it won Product of the Year. I would not go that far on MÖRK BORG. I just wouldn't. That said, I don't think this is a bad game. It's just the presentation, to me, it's more wonky than anything else. Now, some people have said that they can't even read the book. No, it's actually, it's a super fast read. In fact, if we took the artwork out of here, probably looking at about maybe 35 pages, digest size pages of game material, which in a rules light game, that's fine. I mean, this is super rules light. So, as I said, I don't think this isn't really designed for me. It's got a very dark, very heavy metal. In fact, I don't even know if I'd say heavy metal, more like kind of like death metal, thrash metal, whatever you want to consider it. Not like the Scorpions, which is what like Judas Priest. See, I'm old. That's what I think of when I think heavy metal, right? It's not, it's more along the lines of like, what is it? Gwar, or whatever. So, I wasn't blown away by the artwork and the graphic design and stuff like that. But I don't understand why some people just despise this. That doesn't make any sense either. If we just kind of take the graphic design aspect out of it, I really like the game. I think the game, especially if you're looking for something that's going to take just a few minutes to teach people to play, and it's just going to be totally gonzo, and you're looking for a really kind of dark kind of aspect. If you're into games like Shadow of the Demon Lord, for an example, super rules light, and you could probably port a lot of this over to Shadow of the Demon Lord as far as your mechanics and stuff like that. I like the adventure. I think the adventure is cool. Like I said, I like the mechanics. It's not something revolutionary that we've never seen before. I mean, it's essentially a D20 with your modifiers for your attribute scores and success or failure, right? I mean, we see that a lot. But all in all, I do like this. I'm not totally blown away by it, and I don't think I would award it product of the year, but I do like it. So on a scale of 1 to 10, I give MÖRK BORG, if that's even how it's pronounced, a very solid 7 out of 10. I enjoy it. You might consider going and picking up the PDF if you don't want to invest $33.10. You can get the PDF over at DriveThruRPG for $14.99. Should mention the Gaming Gang is affiliated with the One Bookshelf sites. If you were going to head over to DriveThruRPG, please stop at thegaminggang.com first. Click on one of our banner ads. That way, if you do make a purchase, we get a little portion of that sale. And it really does help keep the Gaming Gang around. All right, that's it for this time out. Once again, let me remind you, if you like this video, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you do subscribe, don't forget, ring that notification bell, because it will not only let you know when I upload reviews like this, it'll also tell you when my live stream, The Daily Dope, airs right here on YouTube, Monday through Thursday nights, as I bring you the latest in tabletop gaming news. Of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in tabletop gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. All right, as I tend to wrap up my videos right now during this pandemic, which never seems like it's ever going to end, let me hope that you are being smart and staying safe. I'll see you next time. Oh, you're still here. Well, once again, thank you very much for watching this video. And of course, if you'd like to subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel, click right here. And of course, if you want to see one of the latest episodes of the Daily Dope, click right on up here. And if you want to roll the dice, take your chances, see what YouTube thinks you might like from the channel, give a click right here. Once again, I'm Jeff McAleer, and I'll see you next time.